So last year at this time, I really struggled with trying to figure out how to winterize my motorcycle. So back then I still had a 2015 KLR 650 and I had a carburetor, so I was really concerned because of course, you know, I heard some horror stories of ethanol gunking up the system and causing the carburetor to get gunked up, and then the motorcycles won't start. So of course that's not what I wanted. Now I have a new way of winterizing my bike, which I'll tell you in a few minutes here. But in the process of trying to figure out how to winterize my motorcycle, I did all kinds of things. So the first thing I did was I tried to go and get some advice from other people and see what they've done. Now that's in the sense of forums, also on my channel. I asked them questions about what other people did. And I really got quite a variety of answers, whether the bikes were carbureted or fuel injected. So it was really quite interesting. So what I had ended up doing is I ended up putting some stable in my motorcycle. I ran the engine for a bit and just got it warmed up enough and had it flow through the whole system. And then I drained my carburetor bowl just to make sure there was no fuel sitting in it. And I kind of hoped for the best. Well, as it turns out, the good thing was I was enjoying riding my motorcycle so much last year, which was my first year of riding, and the weather wasn't terribly bad that I decided to keep riding it. And in the process of riding it, well, there's no need to winterize it, because I was able to just keep the engine hot and keep the moisture out of the engine, and I kept the tank topped up whenever it was in storage. So another thing I did that I thought was smart was I covered up my motorcycle after each ride, and unfortunately I covered it in my garage with what is really a waterproof cover. And the problem with doing that is I went on one ride where the roads were quite either salty or they had put something down on the road to prevent freezing, and I came back and I didn't rinse off my bike and I covered it up. And about a week or two later, I went to ride the bike and noticed that my wheels, and specifically my spokes, but they were all corroded or starting to show signs of corrosion. So I had to do a lot of cleaning. Like, it was really gross. And my buddy did too. My buddy who has an MT-07, he did the same thing because he was on the same ride. Mind you, he didn't cover his, so I think mine got a little bit worse because it just held the moisture in. So I've learned for that. Because my motorcycle's in a garage, I just don't cover it anymore. Now, what do I do that's different than I did before? Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm riding the motorcycle. Now, my hope is that I just don't have to worry about winterizing it. So I'm keeping an eye on the weather. If I can ride my motorcycle every couple of weeks, I'm not going to do much. Now, the weather does look like it's supposed to get terrible, and they've been calling for a bit of snow. For about a week now. We haven't gotten any snow, but I worry that the snow is going to hit and then that's going to be it. So what I've done today is I've actually put more of a fuel stabilizer in, and I'm using stable, and I'm riding my motorcycle again. So it's getting hot, it's running through the system, and really, quite frankly, I'm kind of hoping that I didn't need to put stable in. And when I get back home, I'll top off the tank with some gas and I'll let it go, and that's pretty much it for winterizing. And I'll park it. Now, that's actually what I've done recently, just because the weather has been terrible and I wasn't sure if I was going to get to ride it again anytime soon. But I got the itchy foot and I really needed to get out on my motorcycle again. So even though it's raining a bit today and it's a little bit chilly, I got on it anyway. And now my bike's going to be good for another few weeks at least before I've got to worry about it. So unless I get a forecast for snow, my winterizing plan is just to ride the motorcycle all year long. Now granted, I'm not going to be doing any long motorcycle trips. It's going to be a lot of little short things, like, you know, a couple 100 kilometers at the most. But I'm just going to enjoy it. But I'd be interested to find out what you're doing with your motorcycle. If you can leave it in the comments below and just tell me, are you riding it all year, especially if you're in a northern climate? Or do you park it, and what do you do to winterize it? Because maybe I'll find something, or maybe one of you can help somebody else out that has the same question. Thanks for watching. Take care. Ride safe.